Whenever you're ready, team.
Good morning. Our group topic was around culture and negativity. We didn't actually settle on the project until our third get together,
Oh,
which was fortunate in the end because in that time I got to meet with Alison Cooper. For those of you who don't know, Alison Cooper used to work for Alan Hewitt, which is the company involved with the Your Voice survey. She's now with the New Zealand Resources team, Human Resources team. So, Alan Hewitt, they do the Your Voice survey, and it's used as a tool to measure engagement across the business and across the world. So, our engagement score this year was 71%, which was 2 percentage point increase for the last 2 years.
wow.
So we kind of use the Your Voice survey results to find a topic around what's giving your New Zealanders a negative culture at the moment. So we use this table that Alison provided, and it's showing the focus areas and how they're measured across the business. And what we found is that there's quite a few interesting insights, but the one that stood out is collaboration is the number 1 and number 2 focus areas across the whole business. So the key insight I found from this is that improving perception of the collaboration would have the biggest impact on the business and the overall engagement score, and collaboration is directly affecting our engagement and attitude. I'll leave you with Matt here.
As we found, collaboration is the number 1 focus area from this year's culture survey results. Received an engagement score of 3% average, which is the 3 key measures. My colleagues worked together to achieve our goals. There was 75% positive perception there. Employee opinions and suggestions were given significant consideration in New Zealand's decision making, 44% positive perception. And then there's an effective cooperation between different business areas of New Zealand, e.g. departments within all business functions. That's the lowest at 40% positive perception. What we found is we all work together well within our own teams, but then data is telling us that people are finding working across New Zealand is more difficult than ever. So, what is collaboration? That's this slide here. They got us thinking about how do we need to increase our involvement in decision making? How do we become effective at cross-team collaboration? What are we doing in our individual teams that we're not doing between teams? So we decided to focus on the last point. The key to collaboration is working together to increase involvement and decision making. With all decisions we make, such as target setting, implementation tooling, GSE support equipment, so we've just discussed processes, products, rosters and staffing. So some of those areas are very relevant at the moment in our business area with prospective shift changes, etc. We need to come to a consensus with all parties involved, with all the parties that affects. Doesn't mean we will always get our way, but that we can actually be supported going forward. So that sort of comes down to an HBE philosophy too. We all need to buy into it.
So, as Matt was talking about, we're working well within our team, but not so well cross-team. We're not that efficient. So what are we missing when we cross-team collaborate? So sometimes we don't have the executive buy-in or support, and we need to get them involved. Sometimes there's no clarity around the goal or no ground rules. We don't understand each team member's strength. We don't have cohesivity. No, that's not the word. Help me out. That's not the word. Huh? Cohesive. We don't have this going between teams. We don't encourage sharing ideas. We don't keep promises and honoring requests. We don't encourage cross-team socialization and outside work. And we just don't recognize or reward our successes. And do you know how we find that out? Do you have an idea on how we did come up with what we're missing between our team, and do you have any idea?
Ask people?
Well, actually, we are the perfect example
Yeah.
of what not to do. And we did find out probably firsthand. So it took us some time to find a right communications channel. So we tried Teams and it didn't quite work, and then we kind of referred back to emails, and we had our own personal work front of mind, trying to get airplanes in the sky and whatnot. We didn't set on time frame, or we didn't really have a clear plan of what we wanted to achieve, and we were not totally engaged and committed, too busy. And another good one was that we didn't really have somebody to take the lead as well. Did I miss anything?
So you're a good example of how not to collaborate.
So that was a very good learning from that perspective. So what is collaboration? It's a lot of words, as you can see. Basically, it's an action of working with someone and producing something. Matt, would you like to go through the NEO project?
I don't know, I'm sure everyone reads our CEO message religiously every week, but I think it was last week, there was actually quite a timely one related to our project, which was collaboration, and he was praising multiple groups for their collaboration with the induction of the 321 NEO. So between engineering and maintenance, airports, safety and wellbeing team, cabin crew, global brand and marketing, communications team, to name but a few. So that was one example of where, I guess, a high profile project that the teams did collaborate well together.
I've been actually very fortunate, because in the time frame that we actually were working on that collaboration project, I had another collaboration project on Tandem, and I had a totally different experience. It was very trivial. Basically, Tandem didn't have a conference in 4 years, and it was a request from everybody in the business, from the survey, that they wanted to engage, they wanted to connect, they wanted to work better together. And so one of the idea came to just go ahead and do a new conference. So basically we had about 13 teams of 8. We had, that was across 3 offices in Wellington, Christchurch and Auckland. We had a time frame, 2 weeks, to get us sorted. The goal was really clear. We needed to come up with a dress up for the party. Which was perfect. So what worked well for this was that we had a clear goal, we had a time frame, we were engaged, we wanted to make it happen. We had a leader making sure that we were on track to deliver, and that leader did, reframe and recap every so often to make sure that we were getting to deliver. Sorry, I'm getting lost. I guess that got me thinking, and then us, around, we need to have ground rules to make collaboration working, but also a simple checklist to see if we are going in the right direction is very helpful as well. Oh, sorry.
Alright, so here we have some guidelines, ground rules around collaboration and authenticity and accepting authenticity in others, dependability, to commit and deliver a time frame, proactive collaboration, sharing ideas and clear goals, and to understand what is understood. The ability to compromise and align interests, and leaving egos at the door, which kind of ties in with compromising, and willingness and openness to learn, be adaptable and agile. And yeah, we've got a basic checklist here. Collaboration needs clear goals in order to be effective. Now these goals should be achievable and they need to be related to needs and to allow members to buy into the collaborative effort. Goals are most effective when they're written down and when everyone's interests align. So it affects, well, we need to know which parties it affects and who should be involved with the decision making. There's no point in other parties making decisions for different areas. It needs to be the people who are directly involved, with the targets, I guess. So everyone has interests at the table, and make sure that they're all shared and they're all talked about, and we're not leaving any elephants in the room. One of the problems with collaboration is people not discussing their interests or their needs. They're not sharing their ideas. And to leave egos, guns and badges at the door.
Guns.
Timeline's also very important. We need to have a timeline in place. We need to set some targets and deadlines so people stay on track. People need to be accountable for their roles in their areas. People need to know what's involved in their role. People need to understand what they're doing before they walk away, and basically progress what they're doing. So is it worthwhile? And is the overall target or goal, is it worthwhile, and is it going to improve or decrease our performance?
Oh, sorry. I guess I can just add that that's really a base kind of checklist. I've actually noticed, even reading it today, that there is probably more things that can go into it, but that's a good base to start, and just to keep us on track, especially when a project doesn't go so well, and just try to figure out what did I miss. How can I reframe that project to make it successful and not just give up? And that's us. So, thank you. And if you have questions.
I have a quick question. Did you look at any of that modelling against HPE and interest-based problem solving within the teams? It's encouraged, obviously, certainly in certain areas of the business where the union and the business are now working together to resolve those issues. So, did you see any gaps in HPE that you could recommend, or
good point.
where did your findings sit against what HPE represents of a business model going forward?
Actually, a very good question, because HPE is not for everything. It's quite a lengthy system or process to go through. So I guess, for example, at the moment at Tandem, I'm sorry, I can only talk about Tandem. I don't know if you're going through the same project at the moment, but we're going through remuneration HPE. And that's going to take probably 18 months to get to a solution. We did go through an HPE, another one around bonuses a couple of years ago. So it's not for everything. It's not for all collaboration, and I think that's where the idea of a checklist can be used for a very small question. So something where you, for example, for your problem. So you have. I'm not going to explain that very well.
Go for it.
Because I don't have the detail. But between your group and the people asking, and the engineer asking for creating of tools, you can, actually get together, have that understanding and awareness, and go through. Okay, who's going to be accountable for putting this forward? Dedicate tasks and things like that. I think once again it's thinking what tools for what problem. So HPE is for big, wide, cross-team problem where I think that checklist is more for, it can be for a smaller environment. That answer?
Yeah. I mean, you know, like I say, HPE does bring in a wider collaboration, but I think there's probably some. I don't think HPE has to take so long. It's just how how it plays out with a lot of the milestones within it. I think one thing we've tried to look at is we've had quite a lot of HPE projects that were ongoing and then either fizzled out or you know they lost focus. Something else came along. So what we're trying to do is identify a smaller amount, and try and get through them with a positive outcome. But yeah, working to that framework and you know just accelerating where we want to be to the milestones.
And I think that's where the negativity comes through for Air New Zealand is that we have all those big projects and then they fizzle out. But with that framework and the checklist, you don't have to give up on a project. You just need to reframe it. Do I have the right people on the task? You know, do I have the right leader? Or you know, have we asked the right question? Do we have the right statement to start the work with? So I think it brings more hope that we can actually finalize the project that we set to finalize.
You'd almost think that HPE is there to remedy where you fail to collaborate.
Yeah, that's a good insight.
We did that HB or the interest-based problem-solving course, and their view on it was HB is actually more a mindset than a process, and so actually getting in the mind of what you have to do. But I think some of the things with the checklist would be making sure that there is a timeline available, so you know when things need to be done, and putting some accountability behind it. And the last one was everyone at the table has some interest, even if you don't think so. Everyone has one view or another, and you just need to come together with those views. Like if I want more time off, I only want to work 4 days, the company might go, well, we still require your team to be here 5 days. Can you do a split shift between the team or something like that? There's ways to work around it, so you can manage those.
Yeah, so good to see you again, Brandon. Haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you at the front of the room. And for Matt, so of course Matt's one of our newest 2IC executive team leaders and making a great fist of his new role under a good mentor. But doing this presentation on collaboration, and now you've got a good feel for it. I've got a challenge now to get you onto a project that involves collaboration at the highest level, and take what you've learned and put it into some type of project or some type of stream of work.
And
Just like you can do.
And tagging on to that, I guess that would be a question I'd have for each of you, is what's one thing you've learned that you will take back and use in the work you're doing every day? Just one thing that came about as an insight from this project. Brendan, you want to have one in mind?
I'm by far the youngest guy on my team, so for me to be a leadership style like a commander, it's not going to work. If I go and tell Kiwi or Todd what to do, it's going to fall pretty flat. But if one of the things we did was leading with an intention. I found that if I go, hey, these are the goals I have today, this is where I'd like to be, how do you guys see us getting there? They're more or less you get some volunteers to do the jobs that you didn't think you'd be volunteers for throughout the day, or the not so nice work, underfloors, taking out the lavatory, that sort of thing. So if you have a collaborative approach around it, it helps a lot more. There is times you need to do take charge if you have an AOG and you need something done in time, but that's what I think is.
For me, I think if our interests don't align and we don't have like a common goal, then it's pretty hard to get everyone on board to achieve what we want.
And how might you use that insight?
By sharing ideas and what's the word? Compromising. Yeah.
To me, probably communicating a little better to my own team. We can become quite narrowly focused on what we're doing on it. I mean, this is purely in a heavy maintenance environment, but what our team is doing on an aircraft and maybe how it affects others, like the other sections, we can be selfish at times, maybe focusing on what we want to achieve and ignoring the avionics side of things or the structures stuff. So probably educating my own guys a little bit more and the bigger picture. It's cliche, but yeah, understanding why we don't get priority to do what we want to do and the flow and effect of that.
Yeah, good.
Well, I actually yesterday put my hand up for quite a big project, and I'm in the outside of panic zone at the moment, trying to figure out how I'm going to make it happen. Our structure at Tandem doesn't work. Some teams have way too much, some others not, and so we just need to reshuffle and rethink about how we can best service our client and reduce the turnaround time, turning requests around. So I'm put my hand up for this to get the ball rolling, and I need to engage with consultants from all teams, from the 3 different locations, reporting, account managers, and obviously clients as well, because they need to be kept in the loop, and so forth. So, so I think it's good to have had, I guess, a wide spectrum around collaboration, and I'm definitely going to use the checklist to see that I'm on track.
Maybe we'll see an engagement